guys, welcome to another 31 Horror Toys in 31 Days review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Zombie Spawn figure by Mcfarlane Toys, and he is a 1997 figure, so he's rather old, so keep in mind anything that's like odd or not up to date is for a reason, because he is actually outdated. So let's take a quick look at his accessories. I think we should start out with that, and he's got quite a few. Let me just pull these off of him. So to start out, let's go with least. That would be his sword here, which is made out of a very pliable type of plastic that's almost rubbery, and it's very warped. It's got nice paint to it. Yeah, it's got a silver paint with a black wash over that, and then black for the handle. But yeah, it's just kind of cheap looking. And it has a peg in it, which works because his hand's not tight enough to hold the sword. However, he does have a hole in his hand for that peg, and you can just stick that in there, and you know, he kind of looks like he could be hauling a sword. It just doesn't, compared to the size of him, it doesn't seem big enough. It just seems like it should be a lot bigger. It just looks like a little pig sticker. So, but there is a little place where you can port that in. Just slide that through here. As you can see, there's this little spot. I'm not sure if this is where it's supposed to go, but it fits, so why not? Anywhere that you can stick it, that's pretty much where it matters. And then next accessory, we're going to go with his giant gun here, which is just crazy. It's the stylistic Todd McFarlane giant machine guns. He loves drawing those. Now, I've never really been too much into the McFarlane comics of Spawn or what have you, so I don't know too much about the character. I've read like maybe 3 comics, so yeah, if I sound very inaccurate with all the things I say, there's a reason. Anyway, that also has a peg in it, so that you can peg into his hand like that. Doesn't look too bad. And if you can see here, it's got black paint with a little bit of a black wash over the gunmetal color, which I think is the base plastic. Yeah, and then it did have this little peg down here that's supposed to, or actually this was a hole and this was a peg, and you would slide it into there, but it broke off because, well, it doesn't even look like it would just last long. It's very thin, and what is that supposed to look like? It's just supposed to like sit in there. That just would not work. So, not very good engineering there. Let's just set that down. Actually, let's get a look from the front here. Very warped in certain places. And then the next weapon is my favorite, the double barrel shotgun that he comes with, which is very nice. This could probably work with a custom Mad Max Fury Road or what have you, because it's a double barrel sawed off and it's sculpted fairly well. It's got nice paint apps with the brown, the black, the silver, and then just a wash over that. And then that ports into his what do they call it? Sheath, I guess. Here, gun holster, that sounds better. Which fits very well, but it's like ridiculously huge, so it just sticks out like way much. Let's just pull that out. That can also go into this hand here, and he holds it fairly well. Not too well, mind you, but as compared to all the other guns, I'd say he holds it about on par with them. And then with this one, I feel like he can get more of a pose with it, like he's actually going to use it. Whereas with all the other ones, it just looks like he's holding them, not so much actually using them. So, for example, here's this machine gun in his hand, and he can't really get it into an aiming position so much. It's just sort of off to the side. Yeah, it just doesn't work too well. Okay, and the next weapon is his chainsaw here, which is fairly nice, but it's stylistic, so keep in mind it's not supposed to look like it would actually work. And then it's not painted silver, it's painted sort of a gunmetal gray, and then it's got a black wash on it, some red, and some black, and it's made out of a rather pliable material. It also has that peg, so it can go in there, but again, just looks like he's carrying it. It doesn't really look like he could be using it, and it's kind of hard to get in here because of the design. This big piece here kind of blocks his fingers from getting in there a bit, so you have to stretch it across. And that's what he looks like holding it. Basically, you can only get a real good pose if you're just having him carry it, because if you have it up here, it just, something about it looks off. Okay, let's put that down. Nice sculpt on it too. And then on the figure himself, let's talk about the sculpt and paint, which is pretty good. He does have black wash like all over. He's got nice clean red paint on him. little details like the stitching there, silver everywhere, little like burnt up part here. It's got this big shoulder piece that's just sculpted all out. The sculpt on this guy is actually really good. It's even good for nowadays standards, I would say that, but the articulation not done very well, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, as you can see, at his elbows, it just is like obvious. Just sort of bends out to the side there and over here. Then at his boots here, they're just like one big metal piece on each side. Very well painted, very well sculpted. I do have a problem with the articulation on them, but back in the day, it's about on par with their articulation. It's got all sorts of black and brown. Looks like he's got roots growing up through him, so like he's been buried for a while. That's really cool. He's got it on here too, like all these little black spots that have been painted on. Then he's got straps all over him. I like the shotgun shells here. Then he's got this loincloth that has a black wash on the front, and then on the back it's just very clean. Kind of odd. It's all frayed. Belt has that Spawn's logo, which looks cool. And then of course he has just the whole zombie torn up stuff sculpted on him, which looks cool. Some straps around here holding on to his little piece of armor there. And then he's got this weird like extra piece of skin that has a knife connected to it. Not sure if that's something that Spawn has ever had, or if that's just exclusive to the zombie Spawn figure. I don't know, but I think it's cool. So let's talk about articulation now. Let's start out with the head can turn that much in that direction. Let me get the focus back here. And then it can turn that much in this direction. Then at his shoulder he can move up this much, move back that much. At the elbows he can move forward that much to about a 90-degree angle, and then back that much. No wrist articulation, and then on the other side he can move forward this much, back that much. And if you move it too much, this piece here starts popping out. And I'm not sure what this is for. I'm going to add. I just don't know. If you guys know what this part here that sticks out is supposed to do, let me know, because otherwise you just like, what, stick a gun in there, use it for storage? Sure, why not? I've never seen a reference picture that actually shows that, but whatever. His elbow here can bend to like a ridiculous degree, not sure why. And then back that much. And then at his waist there is absolutely nothing, but at his hips he can move forward that much, move back that much. And then at the other side it's about the same. And then at the knees, this one doesn't bend so much, whereas this one bends a lot more, and then there's no ankle articulation at all, not even ankle pivot, not ankle twist, not up and down movement, which of course makes it so that he can basically just stand in one position. And it's also a problem because his leg's a bit warped, so you have to get him in a very specific position to keep him standing. So overall, I would say this guy is definitely a cool figure, and if you want to get him for like playing with or anything, be careful, because he does have a lot of parts on him that just seem like they would break. Just like moving this around a bit, feels a little bit loose. His legs have a bit of a gummy feeling to them. But overall, the sculpt is well done, the paint is well done, and he's a fairly cheap figure to get, so there's no real way that you can lose. Biggest complaint on him would be that there's no real place to stick his weapons too well, just like find random spots for it. So anyway guys, tell me what you guys think about him. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stick around to see the size comparisons. I will see you guys in the next review. Peace. Zombie Spawn stands at about 7 inches tall. Here's Zombie Spawn next to some Marvel Legends figures. Here he is next to NECA's Ash, and here he is next to a horrified looking Dale. Hey guys, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing